So we've got Green Island Ficus with ligustrum, and in this house, this is full sun all day long because the front of this house, sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Let me close my van here because it's starting to rain a bit. I'm testing the irrigation system of what's going on in the front of this house and why that ligustrum, they're thinking it's, well, water damage, or there's, you know, water going into that area. Well, this is a higher up, and when you see Green Island Ficus dropping its leaves and turning yellow, it's usually a lack of water. And we just went through a drought where the temperatures went up into the 80s and 90s. It didn't rain for an entire month. The irrigation was set still for winter, and we had to change it last month to this. This is why it got drought stress. Now people say, well, that was last month, now it's raining. We just had a hurricane come through and a tropical storm, and yeah, plants don't recover in 30 days because all of a sudden it rains. This is the problem that we have with plants, is once they get stressed, they're going to continue to get stressed. The other issue that we have with this is that this zone is together with another zone where the plants are in full shade. And that is a problem when you design an irrigation system where you're going to do a very expensive landscape, you know, in excess of $150,000 in plant installs, to not have a perfect irrigation system based on what you're going to install in that landscape. This is a thought that is an afterthought. It just needs water. Well, let me show you over here. You know, these are getting water. These are, you know, pretty much also full sun, except that they have these palm trees. And then this one is in the same zone, on the same side, with plants that are in total shade, in areas where this is totally shaded. And this will eventually get, especially with your mondo grass over there, you're going to get disease. Now you have turf installed, and the turf died because it's in total shade. So you've got a combination of, this is going to have to go on for 30 minutes whether it wants to or not, because it's on the same zone as the front of the house, which requires about 30 minutes 3 times a week, where this only requires maybe 10 minutes twice a week at best. And this is the problem where plants start dying, and people, well, you're paying for pest control, you're paying for fertilizing, can you just put more fertilizer and make it better? I just feel it needs to be more fertilizer. Let me show you. This one here, you know, full shade. Look how great these are doing in full shade. How beautiful they are. There's not a blemish on them. But now they're going to get 30 minutes of water, and they're in full shade. This whole area is full shade. And are we going to be able to get, you know, there's a little bit of damage there. But other than that, you know, they're beautiful. The ones that are back here, the gingers, you know, how are they doing? You know, these are in full shade. So I got to give this landscape, whether I want it or not, 3 days a week of water now, when it only needs water twice a week for maybe 15 to 20 minutes, because there's no sun in those areas. So this is the consideration that you have to have, especially when you're building an elaborate landscape like this, that irrigation can't be an afterthought. Plant selection, you know, when you pay, you know, to get this done by a designer and the plant is in the wrong place. I mean, these are things that I have to argue all the time with the client, saying it isn't an issue of more fertilizer, it isn't an issue of more pesticide, it isn't an issue of more fungicide. No matter what I put on this plant, it's always going to look like this when it gets direct sunlight. It's always going to get damaged no matter what I do. You got to remove the plant, put it in an area where it wants to thrive.